The gray autumn sky hung heavy over the campus lawn as Malik hesitated, the half-eaten sandwich in his hand weighing heavier than hunger. Across the path, a scruffy man with tired eyes and threadbare clothes watched him silently, hope flickering like a fragile flame. Malik didn't know then that this simple act of sharing would ripple through their lives, forever. Introduction and setup. First 3 minutes. The chilly November air bit at the cheeks of students milling between the aged brick buildings of Westbrook University. Leaves skittered along cracked sidewalks, chasing the wind like forgotten memories. The campus, a blend of centuries-old stone and modern glass, pulsed with youthful ambition and restless dreams. Malik Thomas sat alone on the cold concrete bench beneath a skeletal oak tree, its bare branches scratching the gray sky. His worn sneakers dangled above the ground, scuffed and faded from years of relentless use, a symbol of both his perseverance and the invisible weight he carried. At 20 years old, Malik was a junior majoring in sociology, balancing his studies with 2 part-time jobs. The son of a single mother who worked double shifts at a local hospital, he was no stranger to sacrifice. But today, beneath his calm exterior, simmered a quiet storm. The relentless pressure of expectations, the sting of isolation in a place that sometimes felt too big, too indifferent. His lunch was meager, a peanut butter sandwich wrapped in crinkled wax paper. But to Malik, it was a moment of peace. The faint aroma of roasted peanuts and jelly mingled with the crisp air. Around him, chatter and laughter floated like distant music, but Malik's mind drifted elsewhere. Back to his mother's worn hands, back to the promises he whispered to himself every night. I will make this count. I will not let us down. Conflict, or challenge introduced, minutes 4 to 10. As Malik tore a small piece from his sandwich, a shadow shifted near the edge of the campus pathway. An older man, maybe in his late 50s, approached with hesitant steps. His coat was frayed, his shoes caked with dried mud. His eyes held a mix of weariness and something softer, a flicker of vulnerability. "Excuse me, son," the man said, voice rough yet polite. "I haven't eaten since yesterday. Could you spare some bread?" Malik looked up, startled. Around them, students hurried past, eyes fixed on phones or the path ahead, indifferent. The man's hands trembled slightly as he waited. A moment passed like a fragile thread between them. Malik glanced down at his sandwich, half untouched, then back at the man's weary face. His heart clenched. He felt the familiar ache of scarcity, but also the rare warmth of empathy. "Here," Malik said softly, breaking his sandwich in half and extending the larger piece. "It's not much, but it's something." The man's face cracked into a smile, hesitant but genuine. "Thank you, son. God bless you." They sat together on the bench, sharing the simple meal. For a moment, the campus noise faded, replaced by a fragile connection stitched together by hunger and kindness. The man introduced himself as James, a former factory worker who had fallen on hard times after the plant shut down and his health deteriorated. Malik listened quietly, sensing the unspoken weight behind James's words, a story of loss and loneliness written into the lines of his face. Midpoint revelation or twist. Minutes 15 to 20 days passed. Malik couldn't shake the memory of James's tired eyes. On a chilly afternoon, as autumn's breath turned colder, Malik found himself walking past the same bench. But James was gone. A week later, Malik was sitting in the campus library when his phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. "Malik, thank you for your kindness. You don't know what it means. I'm trying to find a way back. Can we meet?" Malik's heart raced. Could this be James? He replied eagerly, and soon they arranged to meet at a nearby cafe. When James arrived, he looked different, cleaner clothes, a cautious smile. Over coffee, James revealed the truth. Years ago, before everything fell apart, he was a respected social worker. A twist of fate and misfortune had buried his life beneath hardship, but Malik's simple act reminded him of a second chance. "I want to give back," James said, eyes shining with new purpose. You saved me that day. Now I want to help others like me. Climax, emotional breakthrough, minutes 20 to 27. Together, Malik and James launched a campus outreach program, Second Chances, dedicated to helping homeless and struggling individuals nearby. The first event was a tentative success. Malik's mother, initially skeptical, came to volunteer, seeing her son's passion ignite. At one gathering, Malik spoke quietly to a young woman who'd lost her way. "You're not broken," he told her softly. "You're becoming." Tears streamed down her cheeks, a release of years of pain and fear. In that moment, Malik felt the crushing weight in his chest lift. The broken watch he carried in his pocket, a gift from his mother, seemed to tick again. Resolution and quiet closure. Last 3 minutes. Months later, under a gentle spring sun, the campus lawn bloomed with hope. Malik and James stood side by side watching people gather, once strangers, now a community bound by compassion. A soft breeze stirred the leaves, carrying laughter and quiet prayers of healing. Malik's voiceover reflected softly. Kindness is never wasted. It returns like the sunrise, steady, patient, relentless. The camera pulled back slowly, the world expanding around them, full of possibility. Call to action. If this story touched your heart, consider subscribing for more inspiring tales of hope, healing, and unexpected kindness. Hit the like button and share this with someone who needs it today. Full script. Scene 1. Hook. The wind tugged at Malik's jacket as he sat alone on the stone bench, his fingers nervously clutching the torn wax paper holding his lunch. Across the walkway, a man with worn shoes and hollow eyes watched quietly. Malik's heart raced. "Could you spare some bread?" The man's voice cracked through the chilly air, carrying a quiet plea that echoed deep inside Malik's soul. Scene 2. Introduction and setup. Westbrook University had the grandeur of old ivy, but the weight of generations pressed uneasily on Malik. His clothes were simple, his smile polite but cautious. He carried more than textbooks. He carried the hopes of his mother, who sacrificed everything for him. The autumn leaves whispered secrets around the benches and cobblestones. The scent of damp earth and distant wood smoke wrapped the campus in a melancholy embrace. Malik broke his sandwich, eyes scanning the crowd for something more than just faces, searching for connection in a place that often forgot him. Scene. "Sorry, sir, conflict. Son?" The voice was gentle but strained. Malik turned to see a man approaching, his coat thin against the cold. His hands shook, his breath shallow. "Hungry?" Malik offered the sandwich without hesitation, the generosity surprising even himself. James accepted it, their fingers brushing in a fleeting moment of shared humanity. For the first time that day, Malik felt warmth beyond his own hunger. A spark of hope. Scene 4. Rising action. Day by day, Malik sought out James, bringing extra food and listening to the stories beneath the scars. James spoke of lost dreams, of a family fractured by poverty and addiction. But he also spoke of resilience, a flicker of light refusing to die. Together, they discovered a shared pain, both marked by struggle, both searching for meaning. Scene 5. Midpoint twist. One rainy evening, Malik found a letter tucked under his dorm door. It was from James, written in shaky but determined script. "I was once like you, full of promise and fear. You reminded me of who I was. Let me help you now." The next day, James returned, not as a homeless man, but as a mentor, a guide, a friend reborn. Scene 6. Climax. Together, Malik and James created Second Chances, a program bridging campus resources with the surrounding community. In a small auditorium filled with hopeful faces, Malik spoke, voice steady but full, of emotion. "You are not alone. You are not forgotten. We rise together." Tears fell. Smiles bloomed. Walls crumbled. Scene 7, Resolution. Spring's first light painted the campus in soft gold. Malik and James stood beneath the blooming oak tree, watching lives transformed. The broken watch in Malik's pocket ticked. Once more, a heartbeat restored. Closing, kindness is a seed. Water it with hope, and it will grow beyond your wildest dreams. If this story touched your heart, subscribe for more tales that remind us all. In the darkest moments, humanity shines brightest.